What is going on, everybody? It's Jay Coffee Talk. Thanks for tuning in. Any new viewers out there, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell and join the discussion. We cover a lot of different topics on this channel. But listen, this is, the Gannon Stauch, Letecia Stauch case. Very sad story. I've covered this a little bit on the channel before. This woman reminded me a lot of Chris Watts. She told the police a lot of crazy stories. She killed her stepson. You know what I mean? And just a very evil woman. And but when I was reporting on this, I was stating how the police law enforcement was very careful as far as, not letting the evidence that they had leak out, to the media, because we've seen that taint cases in the past. But as we know, he was found in Florida. And, she was extradited back to Colorado from South Carolina. But I want to just go over some stuff in this affidavit that has come out now where this woman just tells some crazy stories. This woman's a nut. Listen to this. It says, Letecia drastically departed from her initial statements given to the sheriff's deputies regarding the report of Gannon's disappearance. In summary, Letecia said she had been held at gunpoint and raped by a Hispanic male she knew as Eduardo, and that Gannon was abducted by that male after he finished raping her. The interview detectives believed her statements were false based on prior experiences investigating sexual assault cases. So this woman, and if you go through, like I said, I'm just going to skip around in this affidavit, but they found, at the home, blood splattered, like something very gruesome went down. You know what I mean? Carpets that were soaked through with blood. It was just very gruesome what she did to Gannon. But you see here, she tried to tell this crazy story, this woman told the police all different stories that some guy came over and raped her and abducted Gannon. But it's saying here is where now she starts saying something different. And it says, Letecia said she arrived at home around 14:30 hours on January 27, 2020, and she disarmed her security system and then went into the basement. She said that Eduardo was in the basement, attacked her, and pointed a gun at her. She said that Eduardo held her at gunpoint and he allowed her to go upstairs to greet her stepdaughter, Letecia Stauch, who had just arrived home from school. Letecia said she sent her outside to ride her bike, then returned to the basement where Eduardo vaginally, raped her against her will. During this period, she believed, it says for an hour, she believed that she had hit her head and may have blacked out. Investigators said no injuries. Letecia also said that during the attack, Gannon jumped on Eduardo's back and that Eduardo was able to throw Gannon off his back across the room. After Eduardo had finished, he had the gun held to Gannon and demanded a suitcase. Letecia provided him with a brown suitcase and a cardboard box. Eduardo attempted to assault her again, but she hit her head and blacked out again. Like, it's just crazy, that the police even sit there and listen to this BS, Letecia stated that she tried to fight Eduardo off but was unsuccessful. I know from training and experience that if an individual holds another person at gunpoint, he or she will likely not allow the person to have the opportunity for escape. And Letecia described being allowed to greet her stepdaughter upstairs before returning to the basement. If Letecia's story were accurate, any reasonable person would have immediately called 911 and reported the home invasion. Letecia said she cleaned up the area where this alleged attack had happened. She straightened up signs of disturbance in Gannon's room and cleaned the utility room. Investigators recovered cleaning supplies such as carpet brushes, which contain suspected carpet fibers. Letecia did in fact clean something up, but it was the murder scene of Gannon, not a sexual assault. So you see this, she's told a story before that he just he went out to play and disappeared. She said he ran away, and now she's in there telling them this. Some guy came and was holding them captive and raping her, and He let her go upstairs and tell her daughter, oh, just go outside and play, and then come right back. And then you go tell her go outside and play, and then come back down and let me violate you some more. Come on, man. Investigators took steps to corroborate Letecia's statements before dismissing them as false and misleading. For example, they reviewed video footage from a neighborhood security camera that captured the exterior of the Stauch residence from the day Gannon's murder and did not observe a Hispanic male entering the house. So there you go. Total BS story. Investigators did not observe Laina arrive home on the school bus at 15:11 hours. Investigators did observe her come home, observed her enter the residence, and observed her riding her bike. Furthermore, Letecia offered the opportunity to have basically a kit done to conduct forensic examination at the hospital, and she did not want to have the exam. When given the opportunity to provide investigators with evidence that would possibly identify, in quotes, Aguardo, Letecia refused to cooperate. And then she stated that she met Aguardo on January 26, 2020, the day prior to Gannon's murder. She generally described as a Hispanic male with brown hair and brown eyes, but could not provide any specific identifying information. She told investigators Gannon had knocked over a candle on Sunday, causing the carpet to burn. After the incident, she drove around the neighborhood where residential construction was taking place. She met Aguardo, who was working on a house, and asked if she could repair the carpet for her home. He agreed. Letecia provided him the garage door code, and they agreed they would repair the carpet. Now listen, this woman, you hear this crazy story? She says Gannon accidentally knocked the candle down, burnt the carpet. There was people doing construction. She was driving around, found some guy. Hey, will you come, repair the carpet? Gave him the code to the house, and then the next day, he raped her and abducted Gannon. And then when they said, hey, do you want us to do an examination of you and trying to get DNA so we can find this guy? No, I don't want to. This woman is bugged out. Letecia spoke about Laina. Investigators were able to corroborate those statements, but never observed Aguardo or anyone else arrive. They're talking about the footage or leave the residence during that time period based on exterior neighborhood video footage. I'm skipping around here. I know from training when individuals concoct lies most reasonably to conceal the truth, they oftentimes leave portions of truth within those lies. You ever hear this? They say you let someone keep lying to you, eventually they'll tell on themselves. And they're just saying basically through her BS stories, and then with the video footage from a neighbor, they were able to see who came and went, that it was bullshit. It says investigators also reviewed Letecia's phone records during the time period of the alleged rape. During this time period, Letecia had phone activity to include an outgoing phone call and numerous iMessages to Mr. Stauch and Harley, namely to discuss purchasing a new set of headphones for Albert. So when she was supposed to be being assaulted also, they're like, we see, she was texting people. Let's see. She claimed she was raped in the basement. During that time, the back door of the residence located on the main level was open and closed 10 times. If indeed Letecia was being raped in the basement, it would be impossible for her to open the back door. Towards the end of the interview, she said she wanted to leave. Investigators seized her telephone and detained her while they applied a search warrant to obtain DNA collection. Letecia began stuffing tissues in her pants and said she was having chest pain and shortness of breath. Investigators immediately requested medical assistance. I'm aware Letecia made statements regarding Gannon's disappearance to individuals other than law enforcement, including but not limited to her friend, husband, and the media. Indeed, some of those conversations had been captured and memorialized in recorded phone conversations and emails. So you just see they had so much evidence on this woman, and it's crazy though that she was, they had to get it all together. So in the meantime, she was able to she was able to leave, and I don't know, that was just the thing. It made it to the public. Everyone was like, man, this woman is still not arrested. Some time's passed. She's running around. Now she left state, but they had all this stuff in order. Now, listen to this. Letecia continued evasive behavior at the hospital, but particularly after investigators told her they were going to detain her pending the issuance of a search warrant to collect DNA. Ultimately, the search warrant for the collection of non-testimonial evidence was signed and executed. A second warrant. Let's skip ahead here. So look at, you see the mattress here. This is where we get to seeing about, like I said, the brutal crime scene at the house. Gannon's bedroom. In the corner of the room, investigators located an area where suspected blood had seeped through the carpet, through the pad, and stained the concrete. Furthermore, there was also blood stain and projected blood splatter located on the walls in this area. Over 50 droplets of suspected blood were found on the walls near Gannon's bed. Crime scene investigators also suspected someone had attempted to clean the walls based on the way the blue reacted on the wall. Blue Star, that luminol stuff or whatever. Gannon's mattress was also seized and contains a red stain consistent with blood in the same area as the stain on the carpet. So she brutally killed this kid, man. Let's see. So you see they got electrical socket next to Gannon's bed with blood. I mean, there's just so much stuff in here. But I just kind of wanted to go over this crazy story that this woman was telling, about this guy raped her and, all this, like, it's just sick, That's what I'm saying, man. You ever have a weird feeling about someone? Keep them away. And it's just wild to think that, this was this guy's wife. She was a teacher, I believe, as well. And, let's go over this here. During the first 24 to 48 hours surrounding the disappearance of a child, it's reasonable that an assumingly innocent parent or step-parent would be contributing to search efforts and fully participating in effort to recover the child. Letecia rented a vehicle, turned her cell phone off for approximately 4 hours, washed her Tiguan immediately prior to coming to the sheriff's for an interview, evaded law enforcement attempts to conduct a more in-depth interview, and did not participate in the search again. So we always see the first 48, how important it is, to investigations and stuff. And she spent the first 48 cleaning, trying to destroy evidence and hide. It was so clear what happened, Letecia instructed Harley to pull your car to the garage via text message to temporarily cover up any potential evidence left behind. To be clear, Harley has her own vehicle. January 28th, investigators asked Letecia for Gannon's toothbrush to recover his DNA. Letecia did a search in her internet browser of, they are asking for our son's toothbrush, but said nothing is wrong. Like, are you kidding me? It's just so clear how guilty this woman was. But, to just go and look and see the timeline, what's going on. The police tell her that, and she's online searching that. Like, it's just crazy. And this woman was a teacher. And then this is her conversation with Mr. Stauch. Something isn't right. I think they are hiding something. Who? The police? Yes, they asked for toothbrushes. Mr. Stauch. What do you think they're hiding? And then this is Letecia. What do you want from me? Because I have nothing. One of your very own leaked to me that what you guys were doing. I did nothing and being set up. I am not really even sure other that being told by another Blue with El Paso. I was told I couldn't go home to sleep, and on top of that, men were sent to a home with a minor female, and she was forced to stay there, not even to leave for food. And then this is a detective talking to her. Come in and talk to me. I would just like some information to find Gannon. And then you see here, this I believe, is this Florida? The fact that Letecia came, or hold on, in this summary, investigators believe Letecia utilized the rented Nissan Altima to return to the area which she disposed of Gannon's body. Indeed, investigators recover a piece of particle board from this area with Gannon's blood on it. This information will be discussed. The fact that Letecia came back to this area is significant. This is actually this is in Palmer Lake, Colorado. So this is where she originally dumped him and then ended up going and picking him up and then driving him to Florida. It just blows my mind that she was able to do that being watched by the police. You know what I mean? I submit a reasonable theory for the fact that Letecia turned to this area based on the information presented in this affidavit as follows. Letecia disposed of Gannon's remains at nighttime and likely was nervous about the location she chose and may not have even remembered exactly where she dumped Gannon's remains. Investigators believe that January 31st, 2020, she went back to that area to view the area while sunlight was available to ensure no evidence was viewable from the road to ensure. So, you know, police got an idea of what was going on very quick, but she was still able to dump his remains, pick him up, and then go take him, to Florida. But so much information in here. I just wanted to go over that ridiculous story, that she was saying, and then just kind of show about the evidence, the blood in the room. She brutally killed this kid. It's just so sick. But get in the comments. Oh, look at this too. She was looking about faking a polygraph test. It's crazy, man. But let's read this part here. By combing cell tower data, reviewing video surveillance and home security system logs, investigators believe, based on the evidence, the three individuals with access to Gannon on the afternoon of January 27th, 2020 were Letecia, Harley, and 8-year-old Laina, with the exception of Laina, who is not considered a suspect. When investigators suspect Letecia murdered Gannon. Gannon had been missing for approximately 4 weeks, and there had been national news attention on major networks related to his disappearance. Over 200 volunteers helped search. Letecia Stauch was the last person to see Gannon alive. Investigators have not located Gannon's remains, so at this time you see they had still not found Gannon. But I don't know, man. Get in the comments, everyone, who had been following this story. Like I said, just truly disturbing. But it's just wild to see what these psychopaths, the games that they play with the police. You know what I mean? Too bad, his father didn't see this coming. I mean, I don't want to put anything on him, but it's just so sad, that this happened. But go check this out, guys. Thanks for watching. Let's talk about this in the comments. I'm out of here. Peace.